love you guys. It's my hometown. Um, I'm glad I get the opportunity to serve. I want to hit the topic real quick. What's love got to do with it? It's Valentine's Day week here in America. So, we got this holiday, and you know, when I first got clean, Who's an Addict? I think Who's an Addict says it pretty clearly, right? Um, it talks about that our ability to love was sharply affected. It says higher mental and emotional functions such as conscience and the ability to love were sharply affected by our use of drugs. Living skills were reduced to an animal level. Our spirits were broken. The capacity for human was lost. This seemed extreme, but many of us, me, Raymond, have been in this state of mind. So I didn't know how to love when I got clean. I didn't know what love was. If I said I loved you, you was in trouble. Back then, if I said I loved you, it meant I was a vampire. I was gonna suck you, all your emotional, all your money. I was gonna take everything from you, and then I was gonna leave you high and dry. You know what I mean? So I didn't know how to love when I got here. Healthy, the love I experienced in NA in the first tradition, right? In the first tradition, it says that we probably never felt so special anywhere else than we were made to feel in Narcotics Anonymous. And that's my story. I've never felt the way I felt in NA, no place else, no place else. Now I've been a lot of places, no place else. The unconditional love that I received in the rooms, when they said, let us love you so you can learn how to love yourself. The disease, you don't know me, how can you love me? The love I experienced I was racist when I got clean. I was 17 and crazy. I had a razor in my mouth right out of C-74, a 9mm. I was bugged out. I was hearing voices. I was ravaged by, I was professionally diagnosed manic depression, which is bipolar, schizophrenic, emotional disorder, panic attacks, anxiety disorder. I had some significant issues. And so when I got clean, love was not something I was looking for. I'm from Brooklyn, I'm a Puerto Rican, alpha male. It wasn't like I wanted, I couldn't admit that I wanted love or long for love. And love to me was sex, straight like I didn't know love was sex. That's what love was. I think it talks about it in the sex section of the Living Clean book, that most of us felt more comfortable with sex than with intimacy, right? And so when you talk about love, I gotta hit first of the fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous and the unconditional love I received. I was belligerent, I was racist, I would say things out of my mouth. I didn't care where I was, I was bugged out, and no matter what I did, the fellowship loved me. The love of the fellowship broke through my racism, broke through my mental illness, broke through my issues, and it pierced my heart. The love of Narcotics Anonymous captured my heart. It interrupted my life. I can't tell you how powerful, as I look back now, I think Abdul was just sharing, NA changed my life. I was 17. I was sitting in a meeting. I don't know if I could share. I was sitting in a meeting, and I would have my 9mm. I would have a screwdriver, a razor, and I'd be, I don't know if you ever, I'd be all messed up in my head who that guy thinks he is, and and the guy says, yeah, you like some coffee, young blood? And I'd be like, I'll kill this guy. Who did it? I was so unlovable. I had the armor on. I didn't know a lot of things until I started clean and did some step work. Man, I was so broken and so hurt that I would not allow people to love me. But NA never gave up on me, man. The fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous, the men and women in Narcotics Anonymous never gave up on me. They told me to keep coming back. They asked me if I want to go for a burger. I said, no, I'm not hungry. They asked me if I need a ride home. Do I need money? Do I need car fare to get? Yo, the fellowship of NA loved me in ways that I couldn't. What do you want from me, man? What are you trying to get? I don't get that. Like in jail, you want some cookie. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong? What do you think this is going? I did not. The love that NA showed me was foreign to me. It was just weirdo and uncomfortable, but there was a part of me that longs for it. Psychologists in the world out there, says that every individual has two great longings and two deepest needs. And that is, one is to be loved, and the second is to love. And NA gave me a love that I never experienced before in my life. And I didn't stay clean the first time around. I realized blah blah blah. I struggled with it. I struggled, but I kept coming. I kept coming. Listen, if you're new, if you relapsed, if you're bugged out like I was bugged out, I kept coming. I made meetings. I made meetings in Brooklyn and Manhattan. And I made meetings. They say more meetings, more choices. Less meetings, less choices. No meetings, no choice. I made meetings. You understand? I made meetings. And so what's love got to do with it? Man, this whole thing, love, right? This energy in the rooms that can be, this presence, this crazy thing that we experience. I don't know if you ever been into a convention where they got the person with the countdown from all these years clean to 1 day clean, and the guy with 1 day, that powerful thing that's in the air, and how we run to that person and we love on them and we tell them keep coming back and welcome home. And my home group was Keep It Green group from Brooklyn for many years, for like a decade. And when you used to get your orange key tag, they would bang on their chairs and they would say, yeah. It was like if you got a Grammy award. The love of the fellowship, man, I got to tell you, because I didn't get into steps like that you're supposed to get into steps. I wasn't a God guy. The love of the fellowship, the people in Narcotics Anonymous, man, the way they treated me, the way they loved me, the way they encouraged me, the way they tolerated me, that it changed my life. So I got clean. And obviously, if the literature talks about when we do some work, our capacity to love has changed. And so I've been able to do some work and address the triangle of self-obsession. When you think about love, right? Somebody told me this, when we think about resentments, right? Anger, resentment, fear. For every minute, somebody told me this, for every minute that I'm angry at somebody from my past, for every minute I'm resenting someone from my past, that's 60 seconds that I'm not present for love in the moment. You got that? For every minute I spend angry at someone in my past, that's 60 seconds I'm not available for love in the moment. And so I needed to do some step work. What's blocking me from being loved? I have low self-esteem, and I got all this shame, and I got all this regret and remorse and guilt. I got all the sickness of the soul. I got these issues, and the fourth and fifth step are able to identify them and write about them. In the fifth step, I'm able to receive compassion on a whole new level. My sponsor said, me too. You're not the only one. And it's been very powerful. The healing process of Narcotics Anonymous, the step work, man, the step work. The disease don't want us to do step work. The disease wants to be stuck on stupid and parked on dumb. Get a new car, get a new pair of Jordans, buy a fur coat, Raymond, but don't do no step work. That's what the disease, my disease is like, just fix the outside. Listen, recovery is an inside job. And so I'll be after, check it out, 4.5 years clean, dressing up the outside, I hit bottom. And after hitting bottom clean, I was 4.5 years clean, and I wanted to eat a bullet. I wanted to commit suicide. I was 4.5 years clean. I made 3 meetings a day for a long time, make a lot of meetings. I used to buy all the tapes at the conventions and the speaker jams, but I was miserable on the inside. My soul was crying out for love. I was starving emotionally, but my defects wouldn't let love in. And it's doing the step work, addressing the issues of the past, old hurt, old anger, old resentments, old abuse, old trauma, misinformation, right? The first step says that we have untrue or unhealthy beliefs, and those untrue cause inner unmanageability. And if we don't address those untrue, unhealthy beliefs, they cause outer unmanageability. I had to look at my belief system, what I think about love, what I think about intimacy, how I feel about women in general, how I feel, and I had to do some, it's the more work, check it out. I said more meetings, more choices, less meetings, more step work, more freedom. Less step work, less freedom. No step work, no freedom. And so I had to learn how to have a relationship with the steps and continue to do step work and address the issues of my heart. These fourth and fifth step issues, that's these rocks and boulders, that were blocking me and cluttering my spirit. If you ever read it just for today, and I had to address those. And check it out. If I don't address these issues, they're going to address me. And I did the work necessary to clean house and resentments from the past. And then I had to, what is love? Like, what is, if you look up the definition of love, it's a feeling of attachment, a feeling of warmth, a feeling, an emotion. It's got to be deeper than a feeling. If you're like me, I could go to bed feeling like I love you, like, like crazy, and I could wake up feeling like I hate you, right? So my feelings change. What is love? Love is an action. Love is what you do. Love is it's not what you say, it's what you do. It's how you treat people. Listening could be an act of love. You understand? Having patience with somebody can be an act of love. And encouraging someone can be an act of love. So I had to learn what is love. I didn't know what love was. Like I said, there's a section, right? If you, in Living Clean, and it says, like I said, I thought sex was love, right? I thought, it says we struggle with issues of self-loathing, contempt for others, and abuse, right? Living Clean says that we struggle with issues of self-loathing, hating myself. I can't believe it. I did what I've done on drugs. I can't believe I did what I did clean. You could be bugged out. I did stuff clean that people don't do when they're using drugs, right? And so I had issues of self-loathing that I got to address if I want to experience love. I got contempt for others. Right? I'm mad and resentful and bitter. I'm suspicious. I don't trust nobody. They told me a friend is a dollar in your pocket. I had to get rid of all these untrue, unhealthy belief systems, right? It said, yo, check it out. It says, the Living Clean says, we may notice, if you're self-awareness, that we would rather have unsafe sex than risk a difficult conversation. I'd rather have unsafe sex. And so that, I was so twisted, that I needed to do some work, man. I needed to get a sponsor. I needed to do some work. It says having honest and open dialogue with our sponsor brings us to new levels of trust. As we experience intimacy in that relationship with a sponsor, our ability to be intimate with our partners and with others increases as well. This is powerful literature, that as I am able to have honest and open dialogue with my sponsor, I'm experiencing new levels of trust. My ability to be intimate with my sponsor is gonna help me be intimate with my girlfriend, with my brother, with my sister, with my uncle. It says, as I develop my relationship with my sponsor, that my ability to be intimate with other people is gonna increase. It says this: we struggle with relationships. Experienced members suggest that we give ourselves a break for the first year, right? Now, this is funny because for many years, for those who've been around, we say stay out of relationship for the first year. That's not in the literature. Finally, when the Living Clean book came out, it's in the literature. It says we struggle with relationships. Experienced members suggest that we give ourselves a break for the first year. Stay out of relationships and put our recovery first. But few of us heed this wise advice. We come into recovery, check it out, lonely, horny, and insecure. We are emotionally raw, and our judgment is still pretty impaired. That's what Living Clean says. We run headlong into relationships only to discover how challenging they are. Two sick people rarely make a well couple. We're mistaking novelty for love. Where I come from, ain't no thing like a new thing. Novelty for love. And find ourselves deep in a commitment almost before we know each other. Listen, the NA literature is powerful, man. That when we get clean, we're still pretty impaired. Our judgment, we're caught up with fantasy. And check it out. Somebody said this at a convention. Depending how much fantasy you go into the relationship with will determine how much pain you come out of the relationship with. Huh? You heard that? Depending on how much fantasy you go into that relationship will tell how much suffering comes out of that relationship. And so we're pretty impaired with our thinking. We're mistaking novelty for love. I remember the first time I had sex clean. If you ain't never had sex clean, we say back then, if you ain't done it clean, you ain't done it. Right? I was like, oh, wow, wow. Man, keep coming back, right? It says this. It says, we mistaken novelty for love and find ourselves deep in commitment almost before we know each other. Or fear commitment so much that we don't give our partner a chance, right? Anybody ever, I'm going to get you before you get me, right? I know you're going to hurt me. Everybody who I ever loved hurt me. So before you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to get you first, right? And so it says this, we open the door, check it out, for relapse when we get caught in loops of obsession and compulsion. We try, and sometimes we make mistakes. Each mistake carries a gift. So on and on and on. There's this whole sex section and love, and in the Living Clean book, and it's very powerful, man. Very powerful. Second step talks about most of us lack a working relationship with a higher power, right? And you know the deal. They told me I got to build a relationship with my higher power, a relationship with my sponsor, a relationship with myself. I had to do some foundational work. I had to get with God. I didn't want to get with God. You know, in the second step, it says, at this point, we begin to feel the pain of living life without the drugs or anything to replace it. This pain forces us to seek a power greater than myself. I was forced to seek a power greater than myself. 4.5 years clean. You're still doing things that are, you're playing yourself clean. You're still acting on defects. You're still hurting yourself. I was doing some stuff, and I needed God. I got to the point where I had fun. I was going to eat a bullet, or I was going to surrender to God. You understand? I needed to get with God. I wasn't drinking alcohol, but I was drinking lust. I wasn't smoking marijuana, but I was smoking insecurities. I wasn't shooting heroin, but I was shooting control. So the relationship life that I had, the way the drugs dragged me on the street, my lust dragged me in the rooms. And I went to a lot of drama. I'm not proud of it, but I had 2 girls pregnant in the same home group at the same time. You know what I mean? I got a son that today is his birthday. He turns 28, and I got a son that's 27, going to be 28. Right? I got these defects, man. When we don't do the work, when we settle for lust, when we really want love, when we settle for sex, and when I love you and lose me, I end up causing more harm clean to myself and to others. And so by doing the work, so I need to go to some healing. The second step says we need a power that can heal our hurts. So I had these hurts that needed to be healed, hurts from the past, right? I need a power that can calm my confusion. I got this confusion when it comes to intimacy and sex and love. And I remember, right, I've been married, next month it'll be 23 years, right? March 6th, 23 years. I remember when I got engaged. I had done all this work, man. I slept with a teddy bear for 6 months. I didn't go on dates. I stood by myself. I took myself on dates. I did this corny stuff that NA told me they suggested I do. I took myself to the movies. I got a manicure, a pedicure. I began to self-love. All this, where I come from, it was foreign, right? But I went through a process where, Raymond, if you don't love yourself, then you're not going to allow nobody to love you neither. You got to learn how to, if you can't be happy with you, you're not going to be happy with no one, right? And then I got around people who are doing the work. Only healthy people can have healthy relationships. Check it out. If I'm not healthy, I don't care. I remember my sponsor told me once, I told my sponsor, I said, yo, I met a girl, she got Section 8. That was a big deal. She had Section 8, and I said, yo, she's healthy. My sponsor said, yo, Ray, the fact that she's with you is evidence that she's not healthy. She got to be sick to be dating you. I was like, yo, why are you being disrespectful? Why are you coming at me? He said, Raymond, any healthy girl would run from a guy like you. Only sick girls are attracted to sick people. I was like, yo, he says, birds of a feather flock together, like attract like. You're going to attract who you are. I was like, yo, you're very disrespectful. He said, I'm just trying to teach you, my man. He says, if you're a 5, you're never going to attract a 7. He says, 7s are not looking for 5s. I was like, yo, my man is crazy. Like, he's very, so I did some work. I did some work on myself when it comes to relationships. They said you got to be willing to bring it to the table before you can expect it from someone else. If you want someone to be loving and caring and compassionate, if you want them to have a sense of humor, if you want them to have integrity, if you want them to be, then you got to be willing to bring that. Instead of looking for the right person, you got to become the right person. That's some big boy stuff, and if you can't be by yourself, then don't worry, because you're not going to be happy with no one anyway. I was like, wow, I learned some stuff when it comes to relationships. The whole relationship section in the step working guide, it was powerful for me. How I act out on character defects. I'm one of those guys, right, that I've learned. I'm not like that today, but where I was at, I needed validation and affirmation. I was like, yo, affirm me. Please affirm me. Please validate me. Please affirm me. Please validate me. Please accept me. Please love me. And I would love you and lose me, and I would emotionally blackmail. Now they got this whole gaslighting. I would gaslight you. I was a tap dancer. I would give you enough to entice you, but never enough to hold on to. And I had to learn how to, Ray, love is something you do, it's something you give. Lust takes, and love gives. Right? I was like, lust takes, Love gives. Lust is self-centered. Lust is self-centered. And this, what is lust? Lust is love on the sick terms. Lust, right? Love on the sick terms. And so I had to learn how to love. And because of what the experience I had in NA, the people loving me in Narcotics Anonymous because of my sponsor, because I saw members, there's a line in NA that relationships can be a painful area. Yeah, but relationship can be a painful area, but you can learn how to love in Narcotics Anonymous. There's addicts. I know addicts who've been married 25 years in NA. I've been married 23 years. You can become a person that knows how to love and love others and risk getting hurt and get vulnerable and be intimate and have courageous conversations and experience a love. Listen, I never knew love like this. Well, love, it's all about love, right? Now at the level where I'm at in my recovery, God is love. Those who have God, they have love. Those who don't have God, they don't have love, right? I'm about love. I'm about adding value, encouraging people, speaking life to people, pouring into people, investing in people. I'm about, my whole life is about service and loving people. Man, I don't ever want to forget where I come from. I don't ever want to forget George P. and Gusso, Wilson and Joanne and Jimmy Throw and the people in my area, Big C, people, Jamil the General, people who spoke life to me. And so I know today that I want to love. The greatest aspiration is to love. I want to love. I want to be able to come on a meeting and encourage you. I was unlovable. I was sick. I was mentally ill. I was emotionally broken. I was spiritually dead. But I came to NA. I did the work. I followed a couple of cats, right? Someone said, my brother, before he died, said, "You're going to be a copycat? You're going to copy Barry? You're going to copy Alfonso? You're going to copy." And I said, "Look, it depends on the cat that I'm copying. Yeah, I'll be a copycat. Yeah, I'll follow these guys to meetings. I'll follow them to step work. I'll follow them to God. I'll follow them into service." I began to, if you want to be a better man, you got to find better men to be around. And, so I had to learn. And, so today, before, I don't want to, today, listen, this month, and, my man's going to be 25 years tomorrow. In a couple of days, I'll be 30 years clean, man. 30 years. I've been in NA. I grew up in Narcotics Anonymous. I learned how to love in Narcotics Anonymous. I went to marriage retreats. I've been to seminars. Check it out. I work with people, relationship stuff outside of NA. People pay me to guide them in their, like if I was their sponsor, but they're not in recovery. I help people with relationships. It's crazy what NA has done for me. You know what I mean? I remember I go to marriage counseling with my wife. I got a marriage group I do every Saturday for married couples. I'm involved in things that are going to edify my marriage and grow my marriage and grow and stretch me and help me love. Man, it's incredible what NA has done. All this in NA. Everything I got, God. I didn't have God when I got here. Today I'm in a sacred romance. I wouldn't have that wasn't for NA. I'm married to. I wouldn't have that wasn't for NA. I love my children. I'm in Florida right now. I've been in Florida 15, 16 days loving my sisters. My sisters both ended up in the hospital. I was supposed to be speaking in Arizona someplace. I was supposed to be doing. I'm here. I'm in Florida loving my sisters. Right? Somebody said love is not love till you give it away. It's not a feeling. It's what you do. Right? Somebody said love until it hurts. Right? I'm good at that. And so I'm in Florida. I took my family for lunch this afternoon. My nieces, I'm loving my family, pouring into my nephews, pouring into my nieces, pouring into, my sister, just NA has allowed me to live a life beyond my wildest dreams, man. I check it out. You guys, a lot of you guys know that my son died a couple of years ago. I have a son who died of a drug overdose a day before his 20th birthday, right? That sucks. That broke my heart. My heart is still leaking. I got a bullet in my heart, all that, right? But NA was there for me. The love of the fellowship. I had flowers from Africa, from addicts in Africa. I had flowers from addicts in London. I had people from all over the world was reaching out to me through social media. That's my sister trying to get hold of me that I'm just telling you about, right? So I had people when my mother died, there was 400, 500 people, 600 people at the funeral in Williamsburg, in Lindsay Park. NA has loved me in ways I never imagined, has showed up for me in ways I never imagined, man. If you're new, man, you just hit the lotto. Keep coming back. Don't let the disease play you for a sucker. Let us love you so you can learn how to love yourself, man. And we'll love you, man. We'll tolerate you. I don't care if you smell. I don't care if you don't like Puerto Ricans. I don't care. I'm a Mets fan. If you're a Yankee fan, I still gonna love you. right? I'm from Brooklyn, right? I'm at 360 Skidmore Street, downtown Brooklyn. I love the people from Queens, right? You know what I mean? And so no matter where you at or who you come, we love you. Welcome to Narcotics Anonymous. We have a way that works. The 12 steps work. Abdul, I love you. Good to see you. We have a way that works. And if you want, we have to offer. Now check it out. This is where the rubber meets the road. If you want what we have to offer, then you got to become willing to make the effort. Want, willing, effort. How it works. If you want what we have to offer in the NA, you got to be willing to make the effort. And the 12 steps is the way. I told my friends, I got COVID-19 step work. I don't got outdated step work. I got 2020, I got 2021 step work. You understand? I don't care how long you clean. Me and my friend Mario got more. He got 31 years clean. February, when March 1st, me and him are going on a journey together to go to the 12 steps again. But I want to know what the first step looks like with 30 years clean. You hear me, Barry? Right? I want to know what is to write a first step with 30 years. I want to see it the first step from a 30-year perspective. So me and my man Mario from California, we said let's go to the 12 steps. Not race, but let's get through these 12 steps together. Let's see. There's new levels of love. There's new levels of intimacy. There's new levels. Listen, I never knew that I never imagined I would love another man like I love some of the men in my life. Yeah, I love my wife. I love my kids. I got people I love. I'm talking about loving that Jimmy Jam, Mario, these brothers are Mexican. Gary Jackson, he was black. He was my best friend, Gary Jackson. He died clean. He died. I have people in my life that I love. Scott H. I got this Wallace, this guy from Nevada, this hillbilly looking like with a beard over here. I got crazy people in my life, homosexuals, transgenders, black, white. Yeah, NA made me colorblind, right? NA has allowed me to love people in way. It's crazy what happened to me. What love got to do with it? It got everything to do with it. If God did not love me, I wouldn't be clean. I thought God was mad at me. So I know that I think I got until 7:30, so I'm going to shut it down. I got 2 minutes, right? I'm grateful. It's all about love. It's about adding value to people's lives. It's about serving, right? God brought me out of, I think Abdul told about it. God brought me out of my nightmare and brought me to this incredible fellowship called Narcotics Anonymous. Check it out. There was like 12 of us using over here, and God picked me up. He picked me up and brought me to Narcotics Anonymous. I'm the only one. God picked me up and brought me to Narcotics Anonymous. I got a friend that went to prison for 20 years. I went to NA for 20 years. I got a friend. My brother died active addiction. I'm clean still. My son died active addiction. I'm clean still. My cousin died. I'm still, I owe. To whom much is given, much is required. I owe. That's why when Alfonso asked me, can you share? Of course I can share. I'm sharing at 7, and then I got to share again at 9. And I already spoke twice in church this morning. I do my religious thing already. But I got to be visible and available in Narcotics Anonymous, letting the newcomer know that what happened to me in NA can happen to you. Letting the old timer know, don't play yourself. Do some step work. My time is up. Thank you. If you don't play yourself, do some step work. All right. So I'm grateful. I'm clean. I hope you got something out of what it's all about love. We love you in Narcotics Anonymous. Let us love you so you can learn how to love yourself, so you can love others so they can learn how to love themselves. I'm an addict. My name is Raymond from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you for letting me share.
Yeah. Thank you, Raymond. Thanks, Raymond. Yeah.